The last two pirates in this series did not choose freedom, and they did not choose revenge. They chose themselves. One of them grew up in a world that had decided, before she was born, exactly what a woman was allowed to be. She was given wealth and told it was freedom. She was given rules and told they were protection. At 16, she walked away from both. The other built a career raiding cities, burning fleets, and looting the Spanish Main. Then he was caught, arrested, brought to London in chains. Most men in that position beg for mercy. He looked at the room, calculated his odds, and walked out a knight. Both walked away from piracy on their own terms. One became a mystery. The other became the establishment. And neither ended where anyone expected. South Carolina, 1697. Anne Bonny is born the illegitimate daughter of a wealthy Irish lawyer. Her father moves the family to America, buys a plantation, provides his daughter every privilege money could buy. Anne famously does not care. At 16, she runs off with a broke sailor. Her father disowns her on the spot. She ends up in Nassau, which at this point in history is essentially a floating pirate republic, and meets the pirate captain Calico Jack Rackham. She leaves her husband for him and ships out. October 1720. The British Royal Navy attacks their ship in the night. The entire crew is below deck, drunk, unable to stand. 2 people are on the deck with pistols and cutlasses. Anne Bonny and her fellow pirate Mary Read. Just 2 women against the Royal Navy. The crew was captured anyway, but not because those 2 went down without a fight. After Calico Jack was convicted and sentenced to hang, Anne Bonny was brought to see him in his cell. Her words to him were recorded. She said,
"If you had fought like a man, you need not have been hanged like a dog."
Then she left. Anne Bonny was sentenced to death, but she claimed pregnant. The execution was deferred. After that, she disappears from every historical record. Nobody knows what happened to Anne Bonny. She just vanished. She vanished so completely that history has no record of what became of her. The next one didn't vanish. He simply changed uniforms. Wales, around 1635. Henry Morgan is born to a family of minor gentry, educated, connected, ambitious. He arrives in the Caribbean in the 1650s as part of the English military expedition that captures Jamaica from Spain. He is good at what he does. He stays. Jamaica's new English governor has a problem. The Spanish want their island back. England doesn't have enough warships to stop them. His solution is to hire men like Morgan. The arrangement is simple. Issue privateering commissions, authorizing private captains to attack Spanish ships and settlements. It is technically legal. It is extremely profitable. Henry Morgan now had a piece of paper that said the English crown authorized everything he did, right up until it didn't. By 1668, Morgan is the most effective privateer commander in the Caribbean. The governor gives him a bigger commission, more men, a larger target. Portobelo, a heavily fortified Spanish city on the coast of modern Panama, one of the most defended ports in the Americas. Morgan attacks it with fewer than 500 men. The fort's walls are thick. The garrison is dug in. A direct assault would cost too many men. Morgan finds another way. He orders his men to advance on the fort walls using captured priests and nuns as human shields. He calculates, correctly, that the Spanish garrison will hesitate to fire on their own clergy. The fort falls. Morgan records this detail himself. He takes the city. He extracts an enormous ransom. He returns to Jamaica wealthy. He still has his commission. Everything is technically legal. But this is no longer a privateer intercepting ships at sea. This is something else. He is sacking civilian cities. 3 years later, Morgan sets his sights on the biggest target in the Americas, Panama City, the wealthiest city in the New World, the terminus of every silver route from the South American mines. More money flows through Panama City than through most European capitals. Henry Morgan marches 1,200 men across the Isthmus of Panama on foot, through jungle, through heat, through territory the Spanish believed impassable for an attacking force. Then he burns Panama City to the ground. But there is one problem. Before Morgan reaches Panama, England and Spain have signed the Treaty of Madrid, a formal peace agreement. Spain recognized English Jamaica. England, in return, agreed to stop authorizing raids on Spanish territory. The commission that protected Henry Morgan for 13 years has just expired. He marched anyway. Spain is furious. The English crown has no choice. Morgan and the governor are arrested. Both are put on ship and brought to London in chains. What happened next is the most English thing in this entire series. Morgan arrives in London in 1672. He is technically under arrest. London does not appear to notice. England is a Protestant nation. Spain is Catholic. The public consider Morgan's raids not criminal acts, but patriotic ones. Pamphlets celebrate him. Merchants whose trade benefits from weakened Spanish competition drink to him. Morgan moves through London society with surprising freedom for a man theoretically in custody. In 1674, the charges against Morgan are not merely dropped, they are quietly buried. King Charles II knights him. Not pardoned, knighted. Sir Henry Morgan is then appointed Lieutenant Governor of Jamaica. The man who burned Panama City and advanced on a fort using priests and nuns as shields is now responsible for law and order in the English Caribbean. As Lieutenant Governor, one of Morgan's primary duties is suppressing piracy, and he is exceptionally good at it. Several former associates are captured under his authority, hanged. The man who did what they did, sending them to the gallows for doing what he did. The easy interpretation is hypocrisy, but that interpretation misses something. He was never a pirate in the sense that Bonny was, never motivated by freedom, never driven by rebellion, never seeking a life outside the system. He was always a man who assessed what the available system offered him and took the best position within it. A bored husband, an Irish chieftain's daughter, an exiled noblewoman, a lawyer's rebellious child, a Welsh gentleman who burned cities, a widow with 13 years of patience. None of them needed the money. They needed something no fortune could buy. Freedom, rage, power, a life that was actually theirs. They found every last drop of it on the open sea. Drop a comment below. Which pirate surprised you most? If you liked this video and want more stories from history's strangest corners, like and subscribe to Plunders and Prey. See you in the next one.